L913. She is an eagle daughter. She will be our first eagle daughter in production. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, it is Saturday morning. All right, so football update for Saturday morning. Thursday and Friday were our last regular season games. So my freshman season is done. We just have equipment turned in on, I think it's Monday. Yeah, Monday. And then varsity had their last regular season game on Friday last night as well. And it was a win, and we're for sure in the playoffs. Lose, and then it's up to somebody to make a decision. But we won, played a really nice game. It was kind of crazy but really fun, but we did win, and we are in the playoffs. We're kind of getting hints already this morning of where we're going, and it looks like our bracket is really screwed up. It is weird. It doesn't make any sense, but oh well. So my responsibilities for football are now just game nights for varsity. So that'll be next Friday, and Monday I got equipment turn in, like I said, and then the rest of the week it is go to work, come home, and be able to help Dad with farm stuff. But today, main things on the list, probably start cleaning up a little bit of stuff, but we also need to grind corn today. Our first batch for the calves has run out. So we do need to grind corn. I think Thursday we're looking at second round of vaccinations for these calves because we kind of want to get rid of these heifers as soon as possible while the price still holds. And not so much even for the calves, but for our cull cows as well. All right, so we're actually getting to putting our plastic on our silage pile. So because of our limited access on both sides, it's hard to get stuff on the sides there. What we really need to do is get this, like, between the pile and the fence cleaned out this fall or next spring or something, and then clean this up too. Actually, this is where the tires have been sitting, and honestly with the rodent population, a lot of these tires are full of dirt, and we have tires, we don't have sidewalls, which would be much nicer and a hell of a lot lighter. So they get a little bit sporadic, but we're trying to pin down the sides as good as we can. We've got a couple of tractor tires from an old John Deere 1520, some rears that we've kept. Not really sure what we were going to do with them, but you know, it's more expensive to dispose of them than just to kind of let them sit around, I guess. We left the front, honestly, because we know this is going to be mostly spoilage anyways. So we cut that off, so that will be enough for next year. And what we're going to do right now is we're actually going to take this, because we know this is garbage, and we're going to pick it up and just pile it on the end to seal it off, because we don't have any dirt readily available right now. So we're going to use stuff that we know is garbage anyways. So win-win. And are we going to have a little spoilage on top? Yeah, we always usually do a couple inches. When we cut the plastic back, then we just kind of either with the bucket or with the silage fork will peel off a little bit of that spoilage, throw it off to the side, throw it on the manure pile, and we're fine. We're good to go. It's not the end of the world. It'll be just fine. We've done it before for years, and we'll do it again. And honestly, we'll get better at this. Next year will be better. We always tell ourselves next year will be better, and it usually is. All right, so before we start loading the gravity box and Dad gets here, I'm kind of rinsing off and cleaning up the blower a little bit. I got most of the stuff on the outside kind of washed off. Don't really need a pressure washer for this one, but now we're gonna fire it up and start blowing it and just do a final rinse on it, get some water in the blower, and clean out what's down in the auger area down in here, and that'll take some water. So we already got some water filled up in there, so that way we can kind of flush out the whole system. This is where it gets a little messy. I had to make sure I pointed this thing in the right direction. pretty good. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Popcorn. And this is one that is going to be like 75% manual. It was like 25% manual last time, but wagon, I don't know if you can see it back there. I don't know if you can. Wagon is full. At least what we think is full for the load we want to grind. Need to hook up and bring out the grinder and get going. Well, here we go again. This is grinding number 2 for the calves. We are out, so we got to grind. And the calves, like you've seen, they're loving this stuff and eating it really well. Now we're just kind of playing with how much can we give them in the morning and give them at night. We run about 2 full batches and 1 half. So we're gonna go, with these bags here, we're gonna go 3, 3, 2. Batch number 1's getting unloaded. Couple days I actually hadn't been really going at it real well, because once you get down to the bottom of the bin, it's a lot of cob. Just the way it filters its way out in the bin, it ends up being a lot of pretty cob heavy at the end. So not exactly too tasteful. It's kind of like, you know, by the time you get to the end, it's all rice cakes. Ugh. So I totally understand, but fresh corn, they like it. Last batch is done. It was a little light. All right, so we're feeding them a bale out on the sorghum field. We still let them have access to it, and thought this would be the best one to put them on for more bale feeding. Get more nutrients out on this field. Try and snuff out some more of that weed. Looks like everybody's doing pretty darn nice. This is one of our True Justice daughters. Right? Yep. One of our True Justice girls. Kind of happy about this one. She's out of that LA 53. She was a big old cow that had a big blaze on her. She was really, really nice. Technically, I think this one only registration wise is 3/4, but it's a quarter commercial. I mean, she's about as purebred as anything else out here, so it's just the way it all worked out. Plus her mom was quite old. Who else we got out here? This is our bull ruler. This will be our first bold ruler in production. 301, correct? Yes. A lot of hair on this girl. A lot of hair. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, what else we got out here?
You know which cow I'd like to get rid of?
Which one? Dad's complaining about photo. She does like to butt the bale a lot, so oh well. We got the mom of the twins. She's actually looking pretty nice. She's another True Justice. And we do have more True Justice in the tank, which I'm pretty excited about. Because in the past, True Justice bulls have been really, really good for us. And so far, True Justice females have been pretty darn nice too. Because all things considering, for a first calf heifer, she did a really nice job raising 2 calves. So I'm not really gonna knock her for that. FL 913, she is an eagle daughter. She will be our first eagle daughter in production. That'll be interesting. That'll be neat. 10, we're gonna keep your daughter. We're gonna keep your daughter. That's the first time she's really ever let me scratch her head. Hey, good morning. All right, Sunday morning, and it is looking to be a pretty darn decent day. All right, so first on the list, obviously we're gonna feed calves, and then a project that we've kind of been holding off on, but it's not a huge project, but something that needs to be done. That mama kitty is just taking her little guys all over the place. I don't know what they're doing out here. That's strange. But out in this area, there's a lot of little rocks like these guys that have come up and gotten worked up to the surface. So we want to try and start scooping them up and getting them out of there, because the slightly bigger than softball size, those are shear pin busters. I was able to pick up some mineral last night at Tractor Supply, so that was nice. All right, I'm gonna grab a bag of this and the fork, because I'm gonna need the fork, and we'll throw that out there and start helping Dad pick up rocks. Fun. I probably won't show a whole heck of a lot of it, because, well, it's picking up rocks. This is a pretty tedious job, and there's no real good easy way to do it, because you don't want to like dig up the yard too much. But we are finding some pretty decent sized ones, and honestly finding them now when we're actually looking for them versus finding them when we're actually trying to haul manure is a little safer for the equipment. FYI, we're having a blast, an absolute blast. Dad's driving the tractor and I'm forking rock. We switched to a little material bucket because there's a bunch of these little small ones that are really easy to pick up with a fork. So I'm doing that and Dad's just driving along. So he's dumping one. But what we're finding is stuff like these guys right here that are like 3/4 in the ground. And what really sucks is when you're going along with the manure bucket and you're scraping, and then all of a sudden you hit one of those, it's like a dead stop. So that's another reason why we wanted to clean up some of these rocks now when it's nice out. That way, come springtime, we want to clean up this yard. You know, you're not wrecking equipment. It is feeding time. We're gonna do that right away so I can go back to my inside project. Today, as Dad and I discussed earlier, we're gonna start giving, like, rotating every couple of days, giving those cows 2 bales, because there's just no grass out there. Kiddos have not totally grasped the concept of moving around the bale feeder to get over there, but oh well. So the last thing we did for the day and for the weekend was we ran down to the pit field, that field that we want to pick, just to get an idea of what that moisture is at. And it looks like it's running about 19 and a half, 20. Everything is, all the cobs are hanging over. All the husks are starting to kind of release from the cobs, so that's always a good sign. And looking at the weather, yeah, it's supposed to be cooler, but still like in the 50s. And then, but not really a whole lot of rain. So basically just cooler. So that still could dry down probably another % or 2 by next weekend. And for picking purposes, probably we've picked stuff at around that 18% mark. So I think the goal for this week is clean up, put away the chopper, because we're done with that, and then get out the picker and start going through that guy. So I'm gonna go back in the house and work on my my house project. So we're gonna call this the end of the video, end of the day, end of the weekend. If you guys got any questions, please leave them in the comments. Hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thanks for coming along.